Hey, how you doing? It's Richard here from the Curry Secret Group. Now then, anybody that knows me knows that I love butter chicken. We go to Goa a couple of times a year and I just love their butter chicken. It's amazing. So this year I had the pleasure of stepping into a kitchen in the hotel that we stay in and observed the chef whilst he made the perfect butter chicken. And wow, it was incredible. It was out of this world, seriously. So I've brought the recipe and the method back to the UK, and who better to recreate it into a video for us all on the Curry Secret Group is my good friend Chad from Chad's Curry Workshop. The recipe, the method, all the ingredients have gone to Chad, and he's going to recreate it and do it in a great video for us all on the Curry Secret Group. Thank you, Chad. You're a legend.
Thank you, Richard. Welcome back to my curry workshop. Today I'm going to share with you Chef Nitin's recipe and method for Goan butter chicken, which is also known as Berg Makahani. Richard and I had to take an educated guess on some of the specific measurements for this dish, but we think we've got them just about right. In addition, Richard and I couldn't quite work out why the Goan butter chicken was more reddish in colour than we were used to. So Richard contacted Chef Nitin and he made us aware that in Goan cookery, they use a lot of red chili paste, which makes sense now. Unfortunately, when Richard and I tried out the recipe and method, we didn't have any dried red chilies in, hence we left them out of our dishes. So, okay, back to the butter chicken. 4 simple steps. Make your red chili paste if you're making any. Marinate your chicken. Make your Marinade gravy, which is the base for a butter chicken, but can be used in other dishes. And finally, bring it all together to create your butter chicken and enjoy a wonderful dish. So here goes. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let's have a look at the recipe and method. My dish today doesn't have red chili paste in. However, since recording the method, I've been out and got some red chilies and I've made some paste. It's really easy to do. So all you need to do, 8 dried red chilies into boiling water, boil for 10 to 15 minutes, allow them to cool. Once cooled, add them to your blender, blend until smooth. Let's have a look at the ingredients for the butter chicken marinade. So we'll be using 2 medium chicken breasts cut into bite-sized pieces, 1 tablespoon of garlic ginger paste, 5 tablespoons of natural yogurt, Greek is fine, 1 teaspoon of lime juice, freshly squeezed. I'll be adding in half a teaspoon each of red chili powder, green cardamom powder, coriander powder, cumin powder, garam masala, 1 teaspoon of kasuri methi, half a teaspoon of salt or salt to taste, and 2 teaspoons of vegetable oil. Okay, so let's make the marinade. So into the bowl, the yogurt, garlic, the oil, kasuri methi, garam masala, cumin powder, coriander powder, cardamom powder, red chili powder, teaspoon of freshly squeezed lime juice, a couple of twists of my salt mill, then we'll mix it all together. Ensure the marinade is even in colour, well mixed in. At this point we'll go in with the chicken. We'll now stir in the chicken until it's evenly coated. You want to cling fill the bowl, pop it in the fridge for at least 1 hour, ideally overnight, that's what I'm going to do. Let's have a look at the ingredients for the first part of the butter chicken gravy. So we're going in with 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 1 teaspoon of coriander seeds, 30 grams each of freshly sliced garlic and ginger, 1 sliced red onion, following that with 1 dried red chilli, 20 cashew nuts. I've soaked these in water just to help them blend later. We're adding in 5 sliced tomatoes, that's approximately 500 grams, 20 grams of butter, 2 teaspoons of salt, half a teaspoon of green cardamom powder, 4 slices of carrot, approximately 30 grams, and then 1 thin slice of green pepper, that's approximately 20 grams. 200 millilitres of warm water. Okay, so let's make the gravy. Into the pan with 3 tablespoons of oil. Oil's warming through nicely now, so I'm going to go in with the coriander seeds. Just let them cook for 30 seconds to release their aromas. Just got my hob set to a medium-high setting, so probably turn it down in a little while. I'm going to go in with the sliced garlic and ginger. Let's stir around. Just let the garlic ginger infuse the oil. this point we'll go in with the onions and cook those for about 5 minutes to soften them. That smells wonderful. The onions have been cooking now for just coming up to 5 minutes, just starting to soften. I'll go in with the cashew nuts and 1 dry red chilli, which I'll just break. There, that's in. Follow that in with the tomatoes. Allow the tomatoes to come through to temperature and keep squashing them down with the spatula to break them up. So cook the tomatoes for about 5 minutes. Give that a stir, the tomatoes are starting to break down. They've been warming through now for about 5 minutes. Go in with the next ingredients. So we've got the butter, 2 teaspoons of sugar, and the half of teaspoon of green cardamom powder. Those in. Wow, aromas are lovely. The butter all nicely melted in. The tomatoes have been cooking for around 10 minutes in total now, so give them a stir. So we'll now go in with the 200 millilitres of water. Stir that through. We'll now add in the carrot and the pepper. Stir. Pop on the lid. Turn down the heat. And then leave the gravy to simmer for 10 minutes. Let's have a look and see how the gravy is getting on. Bubbling nicely. I'm going to leave it to simmer for another 5 minutes. Happy with that now. It's been cooking in total for about 20 minutes. I'm going to turn off the heat. Allow it to cool for about 10 minutes, and then we'll pop it in the blender and blend it through to a smooth paste. That's cooled down nicely now, so I'm going to decant it into my blending jug. Get everything in, don't waste anything. The blender, lid on. Do ensure it's cooled down because we don't want any scalding incidents. The pressure when you have a hot liquid in a blender can build, come out the top and onto your hands. So always allow time to cool. Okay, let's blend. Just have a quick look and push any bits down that have gone up the side. That smells lovely. Blend a little longer until it's smooth in consistency. 750 millilitres of gravy. Very nice and thick. Lovely. So to finish the gravy off, we'll be going back into the same pan with 2 tablespoons of oil, 20 grams of butter. The chef used ghee, 1 tablespoon of. I'm using butter today. 2 Indian bay leaves, 1 10cm piece of cassia bark, 5 cloves, 1 teaspoon of garlic ginger paste, and then we'll be adding back in the blended pureed base gravy, warming through and adding salt to taste. Last but not least, I have half a teaspoon each of green cardamom powder, cumin powder, red chilli powder, that's Kashmiri, and 20 grams of butter, which I'll use to bloom these spices and then add into the makhani gravy. So in we go with the 2 tablespoons of oil. 1, 2, add in the butter. The butter melted through nicely now. So go in with the bay leaves, cassia bark and cloves. Allow a minute for the aromatics to infuse the oil and the butter. It's infusing nicely now, so we'll go in with the garlic. Cook out the rawness. Once the sizzling subsides, we'll go in with the gravy. So that's 300 millilitres of warm water to adjust the consistency of the gravy. It's nice, we'll thicken up a little bit as we cook. And finally, we're going to bloom and add in the spices. So I'm going to do that in this little pan. So in with the butter. Let the butter slowly melt, don't want the butter to burn. Okay, so the butter's nicely melted. We'll go in with the spices. 1, 2, 3. Turn them around. Let them bloom. And then bubbling away. Give them another 15 seconds. Add them into the gravy. Stir them in. Wow. Consistency. We'll turn the heat down to low. Place on the lid. We'll stir occasionally, and that will allow the gravy to cook for 20 minutes to allow all the flavours to infuse. That's 1 tablespoon of butter, 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. The chef used ghee. We're adding in the marinated chicken, adding in Base gravy as required. 1 tablespoon of cream. 1 tablespoon of Kashmiri methi. 2 teaspoons of honey. So that's half a teaspoon of green cardamom powder. So I've gone into the pan with the oil, add in the butter. Just let that slowly melt through. So I've got my hob set to so just over medium. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to add 1 piece of chicken in to see if we get the sizzle. We do. So that's fine. So I'm going to go in with the rest of the chicken. That's all the chicken in. I'm going to cook this for 10 minutes. Allow it all to seal. At which point we'll then go in with the gravy. Okay, so the chicken's out for a good 10 minutes now. So we're going to get in with the macaroni gravy. So my ladle is 75 ml, so I'm going to go in with 4. 1. Wow, that smells lovely. 2, 3, and 4. Stir it in. I'm going to place in the lid. Turn my hob down to medium. I'm going to cook for another 20 minutes, and at which point we'll put in the final ingredients. So we're coming up to the last 5 minutes of cookery time now, so to off with the lid. That looks really good. Give it a stir. If you want more gravy, add some more gravy in. There's enough left in here, at least for another dish. I'm going to put in everything other than the cream, because we don't want that to curdle. We'll turn the heat off for that at the end. So go in with the Kashmiri methi. Green cardamom powder, quite a lot in this dish. And for sweetness, 2 teaspoons of honey. Stir it all in. Oh wow, the aromas. I'm just going to add a little more gravy in, just to loosen it up slightly. Let that come back through to temperature. Okay, off with the heat. Let that cool for a second. And then we're going to go in with 1 tablespoon of cream. Stir it in. That is looking good. Wow, that is very nice. Okay, time to serve. So there you have it, 1 butter chicken from the Seashell Hotel, Goa. Thank you, chef. Thank you, Richard. Okay, time for some chicken, some of that cream. Here goes. Wow, that is really lovely. And one of the things I really love about this dish is the use of the green cardamom powder and all that butter. Wow. Thank you, Richard, for bringing this recipe home. Thank you, chef, for providing Richard with the recipe. What a fantastic dish. It is lovely. So if you liked my video today, please like and subscribe. I'll see you all again soon.